Welcome to Barbershop Speaks. I'm Jefferson Noel, the founder of Barbershop Speaks. This episode, we're discussing one of the topics they say to never discuss at the dinner table. No, we're not talking about religion or sex. We're talking about politics. Our topic today is my values, my vote, my choice. I'm so excited to jump in. Let's chop it up. I am excited to be joined by Eric Knowles, CEO of the Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce. How you doing, brother?
I'm great, man. Having being here with you.
Hey, I'm excited as well. So let's jump into it.
Okay.
So why does politics matter?
Well, politics basically run our life. It matters when we get up, when we go to bed. Matters with our schools, where our children go to school. It matters with our seniors. Politics basically is the as they say, the recipe for our lives. And what that recipe pulls it together is important in terms of how we respond. And when you have a recipe and you're eating something, what you put into your body matters. And so that whole thing, to me, politics is a piece of that recipe in your life. Yeah. And the ingredients that make that up, the ingredients of who you vote for, the ingredients of who your school board members are, the ingredients of who your local politicians are, the ingredients of who your state politicians are. So
yeah, I love that you said that, because when people think of politics, they think of people, right? They think of people. And there's someone who said something to the effect of, politics, you think of the word poly, which means many, and you think of ticks, which means blood-sucking animals. So they just think politics is many blood-sucking animals.
And some people call it politricks.
Politricks, right?
Yeah.
And that doesn't always have to be the case.
No.
And so why is it important to really think about and study who you are voting for and who's going to actually run the government?
Well, it's about people who have your best interests. When we look back, politics, when we look back to whether it's the 40s, 50s, or 60s, when there were laws that were written, basically laws that said that you were less than a man, laws that said you could not drink from a water fountain, and those were folks that were elected, and we couldn't vote. So that politics said you couldn't vote.
So the people that were running the government at that time were basically choosing who would decide the people's present and their future.
Absolutely.
So this show is about manhood, brotherhood, and fatherhood, and we're talking about politics through the lens of that. And so statistics show that women are voting at much higher rates than men are.
Okay.
And so my question is, why do you think that is? Why are women more interested in voting than men are?
I don't know if it's necessarily that they're more interested. As we talk about these things, a lot of our men, and we're talking about black men, they're locked up, incarcerated, or have come out returning citizens and cannot vote. And then the other side of it is a lot of us are we've been beaten down so many times that they don't feel that their lives have changed and things continue to be the same regardless of who you vote for.
Yeah. So for a man that's watching this right now, what values do men have that are on the ballot this November?
Well, I think all the values, when you think about the women's rights, that's important to men as fathers. Anything that affects our lives should be important, whether you're voting for it or against it. So it's understanding what is on the ballot.
Yeah, and there's a lot of things on the ballot. Right. So what advice would you give to someone who may have received a ballot through the mail and they have to fill it out, or they don't know what's on the ballot, but they're like, this sounds important, I'm going to vote on November 5th?
Well, you got to read. I mean, you got to follow, you got to dig deep, and if you don't know, come talk to Jefferson and find out more about it. Talk to your local elected officials. As they say, all politics are local. We have local elections, we have state elections, we have our national elections. And, we're focused on who's going to be the next president, but you need to be focused on who's going to be your next council person, who's going to be your next commissioner in your county, because they're the ones who control the dollars here locally that basically make the decisions on how your community grows, how your community is improved, and so on, et cetera.
Got it. And so we have a question from the audience. So let's go to the audience with the question.
Yes, I would like to ask you all this question. Is there any case where voting truly does not matter, where when you vote for somebody or if you don't vote for somebody, the result will stay the same? Is there any case where that may actually happen?
I don't know if you can say a vote doesn't matter, because, again, I've looked at elections and local elections where someone has lost the election by 30 votes. And so all votes really matter. You have to get engaged. Otherwise, you end up having, with that complacency, you end up having people, again, making decisions that for your life that not necessarily improves your life.
Yeah, good answer. And if you could airdrop one piece of knowledge or information to all the men around the world, or maybe specifically in the United States, about why they should go and vote this election cycle, what would you airdrop to everyone around this country?
Our forefathers died for the right to vote. And so, again, your life, your children's lives depends on who are making decisions about your every day-to-day living.
Thank you, Eric. We appreciate you.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you. This was a very insightful conversation. I'm deeply grateful for Eric Knowles for his time, for his wisdom. And when you come back, you'll be with me as we continue this conversation on my vote, my choice, my values. My name is Jefferson Noel, and I am a professional speaker. And when I'm on stage, my goal is to empower, educate, and ignite a fire in the hearts of my audience. So if you need a speaker for your next event, go on jeffnoelspeaks.com and fill out the form. If you need a keynote speaker, a moderator, a host, an MC, I'm your guy. I look forward to seeing you on stage.
Thank you all so much. God bless you all.
Voting yes means hundreds of new jobs, $15 million in affordable housing investments, and a new public park for all residents. Join community leaders in voting yes for Watson Island Park number 292 by November 5th.
I'm Sheriff Morris Young. Illicit marijuana laced with illegal drugs like fentanyl have destroyed lives. I know because I've seen it firsthand. Amendment 3 will save lives by making marijuana safe, regulated, and lab tested. Amendment 3 will protect our community from dangerous illegal drugs while allowing law enforcement to focus on serious crimes. Vote yes on Amendment 3, the smarter and safer choice for Florida.
I grew up down here in South Florida, so for me, it's a little bit more personal.
For the Mesman & Dover Law Firm, it's about community.
For us, South Florida's our home. You all are our people.
Our family, our future.
The difference we'll make for you, your loved ones, your kids, matters. Because to us, it's personal.
If you need us, call us 24/7 at 866-954-MORE.
That's 866-954-6673. The Mesman & Dover Law Firm, youraccidentattorneys.com.
At DRT Behavioral Services, we provide culturally sensitive mental health evaluations with thorough treatment plans, incorporating alternative forms of wellness, not just Western traditional medicine. Besides medication management and psychotherapy, we provide education to people in the areas of minority mental health with classes on your diet's impact on mood and sleep hygiene for better rest. We also offer weight loss therapy, massages, and facials. Visit brainlovehelp.com today.
Democrats and Republicans Republicans, Chief James Reyes has earned bipartisan support to serve as our sheriff.
I'm Chief James Reyes. As the only candidate with executive leadership experience in a sheriff's office, I'm ready to lead on day one. As your sheriff, I will invest in training and accountability for our officers, create an independent public corruption unit, and deploy new technology so we can aggressively take on crime and keep our neighborhoods safe. It would be an honor to serve my hometown as your sheriff.
Welcome back to Barbershop Speaks. As you can tell, this episode will not feature our esteemed co-host, Ismail Joseph, Mr. Host You Love the Most and Your Voice for the Choice. He is traveling at this moment, continuing the impactful work you typically see him doing here. So you have me. So I'm excited to be joined by my mentor, my big brother, my friend, Paul Wilson. He is the Senior Policy Advisor for the City of North Miami. Paul, how are you doing today?
Great, my brother. I am so happy to be sitting here with you. I'm so proud of your maturation and your glow up, man. I'm proud of you, Jefferson. You're doing a big thing.
Listen, that really means a lot because I've known you for over a decade so far, and you are one of the people I looked up to when I first started this journey of public speaking and engaging in the community. And I remember we've had so many conversations, and now we're here, and I'm honored to be here with you, interviewing you for Barbershop Speaks on TV.
I'm honored.
That's crazy.
Humbled to be here with you, man.
Listen, Paul, so let's jump into it.
Right.
So as a father, what matters the most to you in this election?
Oh, man. Deciding who is going to decide the future for my sons, right?
Mm-hmm.
18-year-old, 14-year-old boys. My oldest, this is his first opportunity to vote in an election, right? And so when I look at the importance of it, you know, coming from my background, you know, being in politics for so long, I understand the gravity and the magnitude of this moment. This moment will dictate what life is like in this country for the next 20, 30, 40 years, the next generation. So, you know, it's really not about me right now. It's about making decisions that will put them along with all the other young people in the world in a better position to survive in the future.
Yeah, that's good. And so we were having a conversation and you told me you're raising your children to be independent thinkers. And a lot of times people want to raise their kids to be just like them or think the same way they do, but you have a different perspective. And so why are you raising your children to think for themselves?
I mean, I want my boys to have the confidence to walk through life with discernment and be able to make decisions and question everything, right? I want them to be able to look at something, analyze it, think about it on their own terms, and make the decisions that are best for them. You know, it's so easy for me to want them to be like me or try to raise them as a carbon copy, but that's not their journey. That was my journey. And I want them on their journey to be able to discern and understand the pitfalls and see them before they have to encounter them. You know? And independent thought does that, right? In this world of social media, I always say, you know, social media is the best thing that happened to the world because there's so much information available. And social media is the worst thing that happened to the world because there's so much information available. So you have to be able to sift through the nonsense. You have to be able to sift through the propaganda and really get to the truth. Your truth, not what the media says the truth is, not what your parents said, your truth that fits your perspective on life.
Yeah, and it seems like you're alluding a little bit to the culture of misinformation and disinformation that we see prevalent in our society. So what is one piece of advice you would give to sift through all of the misinformation that young people are seeing on their phones every day?
Question everything. I mean, you know, triangulation of data. You know, I'm a former school teacher. I always taught my kids, check it in 3 different sources, right? Just triangulate that data and make sure whatever it is that you're looking at, that there's something to back that, right? There's some evidence that proves what you're talking about and can take you to the right place.
Yeah. So how does your role as a father affect your political views?
Again, it's laying the future Down for the boys, man. It's the found. And when I say the boys, I mean not only my 2 sons, but all of my sons in the 5,000 Role Models of Excellence Project. Shout out to them out there, right? But, you know, making sure that the world is a safe place for them. It's scary right now, right? I wouldn't want to be 20 right now. I wouldn't want to be a young person right now because there's so much undecisiveness in the world. There's so much animosity going on in government. And those are the people, unfortunately, that are going to decide the future of this country and how it works. So, you know, as Eric said, making sure that you're paying attention to local politics, right? When you have a problem with your street flooding, you know, you don't reach out to your congressman. Right? You reach out to your councilman, and knowing who those people are and knowing how local politics and government work, that's the gateway to you understanding it on the federal level, on the state level, and beyond.
Yeah, I love how you mentioned the 5,000 Role Models because that's how we met. The 5,000 Role Models was started by Congresswoman Frederica Wilson, and it's the premier mentorship organization for young men. I notice I just say young black men. It is for young black men and it is for minorities, but it's just a premier mentorship organization, period, right? And I ran into some folks this morning as I was walking on campus at Florida International University, and I love the work that y'all are doing. So what would you say to a young man who's thinking, why should I vote? Why should I care? Why does it matter to me?
I would say the same thing I said to my son Tristan when he was filling out his absentee ballot from his college up in South Carolina, you know, to participate in this election. And the opportunity for him was a little different because he actually got to vote for his grandmother for the first time.
Wow.
Right. So it was a special moment for him.
That's profound.
But on a deeper level, you know, as I told him, listen, I'm not telling you who to vote for. Again, you're an independent thinker, right? I want you to make your own decision, but I am imploring you to vote, to exercise that right. And I'll say neither side has done a good job at engaging young people, right? And really paying attention to the needs of young people and what's important to them. And I think that's a mistake. You know, I won't say for who or whatever. I just think it's a mistake to disregard the opinions and perspective of the very people that will be running this country in the next 10, 15, 20 years. Man.
Well, I hope the people that are running for office are paying attention to what you're saying because speaking to the issues that young people are facing, that's incredibly important. So we do have a question in the audience. I'm going to go to the audience to see what that question is.
Hey, my name is Rito, and I had a question. What would you say to the voter who feels like they shouldn't vote because they're voting for the lesser of two evils?
Wow, that's a good question, man. I would say when people are hungry, they eat, right? And sometimes your choices aren't necessarily what you may particularly pick from a menu, right? Sometimes you got to eat what's in front of you. And unfortunately, this is one of those times, man. And we could get into a whole deeper conversation about the genesis of the two-party system and how, you know, ridiculous that is. But for all intents and purposes in your question, the food may not be as appetizing as we want it to be, right? But we can't afford to not eat. We can't afford to skip this particular meal, right? Because if we skip this particular meal, it just may threaten our ability to ever eat again.
That's an excellent answer. And we'd even get into conversation about the Supreme Court and how that'll shape our culture, our political culture for the next 40 years. But last question is, if you could airdrop one piece of knowledge, information, advice to all the fathers around the country, what would that be?
If I could airdrop some information to all of those guys around the country, I would tell them one thing. I would tell them, make sure that you are setting the example for your family, right? Make sure that you are the one ensuring that everybody in your house that is registered, everybody in your house that is capable goes to vote. And even the ones that may not be of age to register yet, that they are already understanding the foundation of their civic responsibility and their civic duty to make sure that their voice is heard and that their choices are heard and that they get out and vote when it is that opportunity for them. You are the leader of that house, so you have to lead by example.
That's powerful. Thank you, Paul.
My
Appreciate
brother,
you.
I'm so proud of you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Yes, sir. So thank you for listening. This was a very, very insightful conversation that can positively impact this generation. We'll be right back after the commercial break. My name is Jefferson Noel, and I am a professional speaker. And when I'm on stage, my goal is to empower, educate, and ignite a fire in the hearts of my audience. So if you need a speaker for your next event, go on jeffnoelspeaks.com and fill out the form. If you need a keynote speaker, a moderator, a host, an MC, I'm your guy. I look forward to seeing you on stage.
Thank you all so much. God bless you all.
This November, City of Miami voters have the chance to shape a brighter future for our community at zero cost to taxpayers.
Voting yes for Watson Island means a new public waterfront,
Dedicated funding for affordable housing,
investments in infrastructure, and new jobs.
and the best part? It will be done at zero cost to taxpayers.
A yes on 294 is a yes to a vision all of Miami can enjoy.
Miami residents, say yes for Watson Island.
This year, we can elect Commissioner David Richardson as tax collector, a certified public accountant who has dedicated his career to fighting fraud, waste, and abuse. David Richardson will lead with integrity. As tax collector, Richardson will improve customer service and enhance programs for residents.
This election, our community can speak up and take control of our future in Miami by voting yes for Watson Island Park. Voting yes means hundreds of new jobs, $15 million in affordable housing investments, and a new public park for all residents. Join community leaders in voting yes for Watson Island Park number 292 by November 5th. It's more than a public park. It's an investment in our future.
Rosie Cordero Stutz's past behavior is troubling. Rosie defied a judge's order and refused to show up to court. A judge sentenced Rosie Cordero Stutz to 7 days in county jail. Rosie disregarding orders, failing to follow the law. Reject Rosie Cordero Stutz and her dangerous ways.
I grew up down here in South Florida, so for me, it's a little bit more personal.
For the Mesman & Dover Law Firm, it's about community.
For us, South Florida's our home. You all are our people.
Our family. Our future.
The difference we'll make for you, your loved ones, your kids, matters, because to us, it's personal.
If you need us, call us 24/7 at 866-954-MORE.
That's 866-954-6673. Demesman & Dover Law Firm, youraccidentattorneys.com.
At DRT Behavioral Services, we provide culturally sensitive mental health evaluations with thorough treatment plans, incorporating alternative forms of wellness, not just Western traditional medicine. Besides medication management and psychotherapy, we provide education to people in the areas of minority mental health with classes on your diet's impact on mood and sleep hygiene for better rest. We also offer weight loss therapy, massages, and facials. Visit brainlovehelp.com today.
Welcome back, and thank you, Eric Knowles and Paul Wilson, for a great conversation. We heard some powerful words from our guest. One of our guests asked Paul a question about voting for the lesser of two evils, and Paul answered perfectly by saying that when you are hungry, your job is to eat. And in this election, we can't afford to not eat. Regardless of what's on the table, we gotta eat. And so I encourage you to go out and vote because you can't afford to not eat. Listen, as I always say, Barbershop Speaks is more than just a television show. We're an in-person community dedicated to connecting with you and making your lives better. To stay in the loop, take out your phones, take it out right now, and I want you to scan the QR code at the bottom of the screen. We want to connect with you. We want to meet you. We want to build with you. Also, I would love for you to check out my latest book, Clippers of Change, A Barbershop Guide to Government. During this election cycle, children will be in barbershops listening to adults discuss and debate politics. Well, this book helps kids learn why the government is important through the lens of the barbershop. You can purchase a copy of my book on Amazon through the link from the QR code. Thank you so much for your support. I strongly encourage you to vote on November 5th, 2024. It's your values. It's your choice. It's your vote. Today's show is made possible thanks to the Children's Trust and MIA Media Group. We're very, very grateful. Before we wrap up, I want to leave you with this. I haven't met you yet, but I love you. Your community loves you, and God loves you. And never forget, your life has purpose, your life has work, and your life has value, and never let anyone tell you it doesn't. See you next time.
Give us a call